Okay, it's time for another Poppin Podcast. Two brothers are taking a deep dive into the heart and soul of Oak Cliff on their show, Hidden City, to uncover the stories and the people that make the community vibrant and special. Doug and Grant Klembara are the hosts of what they say is the first ever Oak Cliff-centric podcast. They're here with me this morning to share more. Hi, guys.
Hey,
welcome. Okay, so Oak Cliff, it has gone through so many different changes through the years. Some good, some not so good. But this is kind of the first time that there's ever been this kind of focus with a podcast devoted entirely to Oak Cliff. Tell me about Hidden City. What will we hear when we take a listen?
Yeah, so the Hidden City is a nickname for Oak Cliff, and Oak Cliff is large. If you took it on the map and flipped it up, it'd go into Plano. So there's so many neighborhoods to explore, and there's so many people, businesses, innovators, thinkers that are there that we love showing on the show.
I cannot believe it extends that far.
Yeah.
I've been in North Texas pretty much most of my life, and I had no idea that the footprint of Oak Cliff went that far north. Okay, so let's talk about what inspired you to do this type of podcast focused specifically on Oak Cliff.
Yeah, well, we were living here in Oak Cliff, working in Oak Cliff. We were getting to know so many people in Oak Cliff, and we were hearing their stories, hearing about the history of the place. And we just got inspired. We wanted to start telling those stories. We couldn't find anywhere else where that was happening, and so we decided, why don't we do it ourselves? So that was the kind of the beginning of it all.
Well, now there is so much competition. Podcasts are everywhere. How have you been able to distinguish Hidden City from this just slew of different podcasts that are available for people?
Yeah, so we immediately from the get-go knew we wanted to make it a video podcast, and so that required more of an investment, and then syncing up with our producer Jason, who's really helped develop this with us. And then we work out of a co-working space called Wax Space, and there's a podcast studio there, and so we've been recording it there and just really doing as many as we can and meeting people.
What about people who are not from Oak Cliff? Is this a podcast that is going to really garner people's attention who may not even be familiar with this historic area of North Texas?
Yeah, certainly. I think there's a lot of history that is in Oak Cliff that would interest anybody. For instance, we did a show recently with someone named Patricia Puckett Hall. She is the owner of the Oswald Rooming House, which is where Lee Harvey Oswald actually stayed right before the JFK assassination. So people who have an interest in that topic would really probably enjoy the show. She has a really interesting story to tell about her experience as an 11-year-old talking with Lee Harvey Oswald just days before the assassination.
I mean, because she kind of developed some sort of, he helped her with her homework,
That's
right?
correct.
Yeah.
She called him Mr. Lee even to this day.
That's exactly it.
And that house, I've been in, I've toured it, and they've kept it, they've maintained it to really, it looks the exact same as it did back during that fateful day in 1963.
For sure. There's a lot of stories there in Oak Cliff. So you have people like Javier, who's at the Wild Detectives, Taylor Tones, who's doing amazing work for Oak Cliff. And so we're getting to tell these stories that people sometimes hear, but usually don't. And so we think Oak Cliff's pretty unique and pretty special. And so that's part of the lure for us.
Wild Detectives, I should let our viewers know, is a bookstore that has wonderful different types of literature there. And then they have fantastic authors that come and visit as well. Okay, so the Oak Cliff has also faced a lot of different challenges, but it's been able to persevere. Tell me how you balance the focus of talking about some of the harder elements of the Oak Cliff story with some of the triumphs of Oak Cliff.
Yeah, certainly. Well, the key is to be honest, I think, and look at the history and say, it is what it is. We're going to talk about the hard parts. We interviewed April Allen, who is helping actually put together the deck park that is going over the highway over there in Oak Cliff. And when she first bought her home in Oak Cliff, on the deed, it said no black person can own this home.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so it was just a moment of, this wasn't that long ago when she bought the home. And so there are some very dark pieces of history there.
You just tell it, honestly.
But it's a reflection on the times. It's a reflection on what so many people, not only in that community, but across the country, we're experiencing. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what's next. Do you have some dream guests that you would love to come on?
Oh yeah, we've got a list. Our first episode was talking about all the dream guests, anywhere from Dennis Rodman, who is from Oak Cliff, to Erykah Badu. I mean, the list goes on. Ralph Barbosa, a stand-up comedian. I mean, we could go on forever.
That's pretty
Oak Cliff's
awesome.
our topic for sure.
All right, so where can people find out more information?
So if they go to hiddencitypodcast.com, they'll find all of our shows. They can find out more information about the show. Also on Instagram and YouTube at Hidden City Podcast.
This has been a lot of fun.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
you
much.
sharing.
Appreciate the time.
Appreciate it.
Thanks again.